Hello. So my name is Olexii. I am software developer, a bit of paranoid, and a person who is a little bit concerned with the privacy on the internet. And I'm pretty happy to be here. I do appreciate the invitation, and this will be a short talk. So this is a very brief introduction to a CryptoParty, and AKA filling a gap between real talks. So part one, what's CryptoParty? And it's all about spreading knowledge, well, about cool crypto tools, obviously, and it's about having fun, like fun with flags, if you know what I mean. These two are essential for CryptoParty. Also, it's public and free to attend. It's open to everyone, regardless of technical background, age, gender, religion, whatever, financial state. It's commercially not aligned, so no headhunting or advertising are appreciated here. It's global and decentralized, total anarchy. There's no certification or training to pass to serve your party. No one can tell you you're doing it wrong. Just do it as you feel, and it's your party. So it values practical skills over theory. It's more like workshop, not the talks. So grab your devices and get ready to use them, because this is a place where you actually can learn how to set up and use your crypto tools. And its ultimate goal is to crypto tools to masses. Basically, ultimate goal would be to achieve a community where everyone knows how to protect private sensitive data, including your 10 years old niece, nephew, and 80-year-old grandma. And that's part two. Why would one care? It's the most important part, because, well, everyone I talk about crypto, I get questions like, well, I'm a boring person doing boring stuff, or I have nothing to hide, or why would anyone try to hack me? Well, yeah, but you may think the same, but would you disclose your Facebook password to a stranger, or your Twitter, Instagram account, or iCloud, where all the private photos lives? You know, that's right, but there is a way to make it private. So I don't think so. And another thing, crypto is fun. So recall all the shifter you made in high school, like when you replace every letter with some funky character, and only you and your best friend can read those messages. Well, that was fun back then, but now you can get your hands on military-grade toys. So you can actually use tool level of security is, well, it's more or less same that the military uses for top secret data in your country. And you can create messages which can be cracked by really powerful counterparts like NSA or GCHQ or whatever. Well, that's cool. And you can impress your girlfriend by being a cool hacker. You can even claim that you are one of Anonymous. And as usual, party is also fun. Call your friends, order pizza, grab some beer, meet new friends, watch classic movie about cyberspace, like Hackers, the old one from 1995, with young Angelina Jolie. She was damn hot at the time.
True that.
I'll now getting serious. So, no privacy means no free speech. No free speech means no freedom. That's that simple, because history teaches us that as soon as a nation loses free speech, it's just a matter of time when some totalitarian regime will be established. And most of you may think that that will never happen in my country, or not in 21st century. But as usual, well, that's just fact from these days. Like Turkey blocks Twitter, Facebook, Signal because of their political reasons. There's asterisks because, well, they tried, but they kind of failed. but it doesn't make it less intimidating. Another example, China and the Great Firewall. If you've never heard of it, you should Google it. It's pretty interesting. It's very interesting how it works, how it's implemented, and it's really good on censorships. I will not get into the details because we don't have enough time. Russia and Roskomnadzor, it used to be funny. Well, it's not anymore because, for instance, in 2016, 300 persons was pleaded guilty for posts in social media, and 29 of them were actually got behind bars, just because posting, as they say, extremistic messages on social media. North Korea goes without saying. If you never heard of Red Star OS, you should Google that as well. It's the only available or legal operation system in North Korea, and it actually actively spying on citizens, on its users. For instance, it's for every when you just plug in the USB flash drive, operation system puts watermarks on certain types of files. So if there's some like flyers against government and it's get disclosed at some point, they can track every machine which was reading that file. So that's not cool. Another thing is corporate surveillance. Well, governments are not the only threat to privacy. Corporate spies on their users just as government spies on citizens. Well, we all know that Google's keep track of your search history, process your emails, and well, in most cases it's used for target marketing, which is not that bad, but well, not all of us are comfortable with their private data like medical history or private correspondence with your doctor being used as for advertising. So that's not cool. Yeah, probably the Google or Facebook will not sell your private data. They will sell anonymized data of you, like your age, gender, color of skin, where you live, what's your occupation, and probably your political preferences. So yeah, that's important as well. Another reason to care is, well, this guy, aka Edward Snowden, aka Citizen 4, aka the whistleblower. The guy who showed the world that a lot of conspiracy theories are not actually serious. And well, Big Brother actually watching you. He published a lot of documents describing and disclosing what exactly government does, which is really illegal. Well, in most countries, and that was a huge scandal. Now he lives abroad. So if you're an activist fighting for freedom of Tibet, or maybe you're a journalist, or especially if you're a journalist, spend your time and efforts on learning how to secure communication, because your life well-being could actually depend on it at some point. And last but not least, the thing is, when you actually need to protect your privacy, it's already too late to learn. Because privacy is not a tool. You can't just install it and use it. You need to get experience, you need to get practice, you need to discipline yourself to be able to actually protect your privacy. So it's a good time to start on it. And part 3, common topics which are covered on normal crypto parties. First one is PGP, GPG, aka email encryption suite, aka your entry point to privacy. Well, PGP is the background and starting point to a lot of crypto tools. It simply must know it's also how you establish basic communication channels, and how you verify other crypto tools to make sure that they do what you expect them to do. And it was built in 1991 and uncrackable till now, even by such counterparts like NSA, which is impressive. The last thing is Tor, aka the dark web or the anonymity network, and that's what you need when you need to beat censorship. When some pages are blocked by your internet service provider, or ISP sniffs all your traffic, and you may get into trouble just visiting some sites which considered to be bad by your government or whatever. If that happens, that's the way to go. Next thing is Bitcoin. I'm sure that most of you heard of it. It's aka cryptocurrency of the dark web, or what you pay for illegal services. Well, it has bad reputation now because all the drug dealers stuff, scandals, etc. But I do believe in that cryptocurrency as a currency of the future, because it can't be controlled by any government or a bank, and the logic behind it is, well, it makes you feel like it may actually work. You don't need bank to spend your money. It's virtually untraceable, so that's cool. Next important thing is OTR, off the record. It's encryption for instant messaging, or PGP with blackjack. And blackjack in this case is forward secrecy and deniable authentication. So long interwordless forward secrecy is property of encryption suite that let you keep all communication private even when you get hacked. So even if your password or private key is compromised, all messages still keep secret. And deniable authentication, that's something that lets you verify that you speak with, well, person you expect. But if something went wrong and messages goes to wrong hand, you can deny that you was writing those emails. And tails, that's also really nice thing. It's aka all you need to go underground. So it's a live operation system, so you can install it on USB or compact disc and just boot it on any machine and leave no trace. So it was specially designed the way that even if you use it on some untrusted hardware, you can be more or less sure that you won't leave any trace on that machine, and it won't link you to any activities. Yeah. It's kind of stateless, which means that no persistent spyware. It's achieved because, well, every time you boot that live system, it's like freshly installed. So even if you get hacked, you got some viruses, spyware, worms, or whatever, you just reboot and it's all gone, which is nice. It has pretty good privacy. It's linked to the previous one. Well, it protects you from being misusing it, or for being hacked by installing some spyware or altering that system. It ensures that you're actually using tails. It's what is expected to do. And yeah, all the toys included. It includes pre-installed GPG, email client, to be precise, ASDO with Enigmail, Bitcoin wallets, Tor browser, Office suite, where you can work on your articles, on your investigations, or well, it even had the email editor, image editors, where you can, edit your photos which compromising government or whatever corporations. And it's probably the easiest way to start with Tor. It's goes pre-install it with Tor browser. It's configured and it sends almost all the traffic via Tor. It means that it downloads updates with Tor, packages with Tor. It even synchronizes your time and data with Tor, which is nice. It also has encrypted persistent storage, so it's not fully stateless because, it won't be that useful if you can't store your data somehow persistently. So it offers you optional persistent storage which fully encrypted, which has quite good protection against different types of attack. It's persists not all the data, but only something that you ask, which make it possible to install some spyware, but really complex. And it's perfect cold storage for your master GPG key or your Bitcoin savings. It has air gap mode when you in this mode. System disables any networking communication, so there's just virtually no way to data being leaked or penetrating by someone if you need that. And last topic, passwords. It's kind of obvious, aka don't stop doing stupid things. It may sound obvious, but it's actually worth mentioning because it's open. It happens all the time. So generally, just check top of the most common password and laugh on them and never use it. I mean, like password, numbers, quality, dragon, baseball, sex, let me in, football, shadow, trigger, fuck, Batman are not a password. It's if you try to evaluate the security of those kinds of passwords, it can be cracked instantly because it's just checking against 10,000 well-known passwords which are constantly leaking to the internet through crappy services. Don't use same password for all services because as soon as weakest service is hacked and password leaked to the internet again, you have to change all the passwords because it's compromised. There were even a service called leaked source, which collected all the leaked password from the internet into searchable database, so you could actually search for some user for some emails and see which kind of password that user was using on different services. Try generated password and use password managers. That's exactly what you can learn on CryptoParty and try it on. And yeah, next part is where to start. That's the entry part. That's a portal with a lot of information, which just interesting, just enjoyable to read, and it's the way to spend your evening. Read the CryptoParty handbook, really nice book. It's really simple, does not require any technical background, a lot of screenshots and walks through every click to configure a lot of useful crypto tools. Read how-tos, learn why mass surveillance is a problem, educate yourself, find help on mailing lists, find nearest CryptoParty to visit, you can do that in that portal. Find friends, find place with Wi-Fi, invite friends, throw a party, drop me an email, and finally party like it's 1984 and make surveillance bastard cry. Oh. Thank you.
So the question about passwords and password management.
Okay.
What do you think it's what do you think about password managers, and what do you think it's better? If it's better to have password manager with generated passwords and with the strong master password, or having everything in your mind but with like these mnemotechniques, right? So you've got this mnemotechniques like mind palace kind of shit.
Yeah.
So you like, you always remember this because it's like a story. And what do you think about these passwords? Do they have are they really strong to connect some, words with dots? Is it really something that's stronger than, or as strong as randomly generated text?
Well, that depends on type of attack. I mean, generally speaking, using your brain is always better. I don't know that at this point it's actually possible to hack into your brains. So whatever secure password manager on your computer is, it still can be hacked. But regarding those memory techniques, it depends. I mean, people are think alike. That is why we have that most common password. So you can really be sure that your password is randomized. So you can generate some random sequences of words, and that would be good enough. But you still need to remember that, and you still really trust your memory.
You generate random words, like real words like ass, fuck, donkey, and then you make a story out of it to remember it, right?
Yes. Well, that's nice. Well, it depends, because they still have this kind of lexicographical attacks on this. It's not like it's not as efficient as like, I don't know, 250 letters randomly generated by entropy. If you have the same length of password, if it's randomly generated letters, it's more secure. But normally you have like 20 letters, but if you have words, you may have like 60 letters. Okay. So it depends. I know there's a service called How Secure Is My Password, implemented purely on JavaScript. So you can just
have to paste your password there. Oh, no worries, man.
Nah, I would not recommend you paste your password, but you can compare. Okay. You can compare some long password with words.
Email and password.
And it kind of shows you that, okay, if you use one of that 10,000 well-known password, it just says it's instantly. And otherwise it shows how much time would it take to brute force. It's not perfect, I mean, it's all the estimation. I don't know how exactly they measure it, but it's a way to play. Yeah.
I have two stories instead of questions, just
okay.
to tell why it's important. So there was a guy from Ukraine who made Kikas torrents. And,
epic story.
He was stabbed in Poland and deported to USA because he made this site. And there is
fucking Poland, man.
There is no law in Poland nor Ukraine that allows it, and he will be judged in the USA. Why? It's not our law, nor in Poland nor in Ukraine. And he made this site here. That's one thing. And the second thing, they are encourage us to make big data experiments, but they have big data in Google and Facebook. And do we believe they will use this data for us or to control us? That's my point.
And I have another regarding that guy with Kikas torrents. Well, I read the article on how he got caught. Well, how did they find out who made it? And that's just epic story. Well, the guy made like millions every year, but he didn't really bother about protecting himself. Well, he had those domains registered on his real name and with his real.
So he made like the most basic mistake.
Yeah,
I mean. So he was trusting that Poland was like, hey, okay, you're my friend, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I would make $1 million every year, well, I would use.
Further, what did they do with this data?
What do you mean?
They checked Facebook and iPhone accounts.
Yeah,
and everything was there.
Yeah, that's known that Google Apple, Facebook, everyone just give up all their private data to the government. Well, because they just kind of have to, and yeah.
Okay, and okay, so Mark, another question is about the NSA.
Okay.
So, I always like have this on back of my head. What if they already have this cracked? Okay, you're using this algorithm. You say about PGP that's unbroken since 1991. What if the NSA already has the solution for it?
Okay. Well, the reason why we know that it's that the PGP and OTR is still cannot be cracked by the NSA is Edward Snowden. He leaked a lot of data of them. Well,
But it was in which year? 2000?
yeah, a few years ago. But yeah, it was made in '91. It's not that easy to develop this. Well, okay, when we will have quantum computers, most likely, you need different crypto tools.
Maybe they already have.
Maybe, but it all depends on your setting model. Basically, what do you think is your counterpart and what from you want to protect yourself? And your goal is to make that just hack you just too expensive for them. So, yeah, of course, if you will be the most wanted person in the world, they will spend all the money they have to crack you in. Still, it is possible to make them fail.
So you just be humble, stay low.
Kind of.
Blend in.
But you can also take it as a game. I mean, in worst case, if you are using the tools, in worst case, you will be in same situation that you are not using them. But yeah, if it goes to some sensitive topics like Edward Snowden communicating with those reporters before he leaked the data, well, there's real threat. So, and as we know from their experience, those crypto tools were pretty successful and they protected them.